This interview is brought to you by Burn It Up Coaching in the 21-Day Challenge. So if you are an entrepreneur or high achiever and you feel like you're stuck, you're spinning your wheels, you're plateaued, you're unhappy with your results, and you want to reignite your passion, your self-belief, so you can succeed like never before, then get in contact with me, because the 21-Day Challenge might be a perfect fit for you. We'll go one-on-one every single day, checking in weekly deep dive calls to make sure that you are on track to achieve your top priority, your top goal in 21 days. The program is very intense, so if that's not for you, then it's not for you. But if you're looking for that high intensity, high touch, and willing to go the distance, then send me a message and I can send you the intake form to see if it's a good fit for both of us. Now, we also have an iTunes review of the week by Bree Seeley, and Bree says, Chris is a brilliant light in the world. His energy and enthusiasm is palpable. So grateful he started this podcast to share it with more people. Thank you so much, Bree. And if you want to leave us a review, please feel free to do that. Search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on iTunes, type in Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on Facebook, or go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and you can leave us a review at any of those places. We always appreciate that. Thank you so much in advance. Now for the Woman of the Hour, Heather Havenwood. Heather Ann Havenwood teaches coaches, experts, and service providers current online marketing and sales strategies to close the right clients anytime they want. She is regarded as a top authority on digital marketing, sales coaching, and online publishing business strategies. Heather Ann has been named top 50 must-follow women by entrepreneurs by the Huffington Post. Heather, are you ready to rock this?
I am ready to rock this.
She's totally ready. Awesome. You are now
Very
live.
ready.
You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thank you so much for showing up with us to give value and have fun and just grow together. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Absolutely.
gratitude. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into the question and the theme of the day, which is reflection. So Heather, how has this concept of reflection made a difference for you and played a part in your life to grow and become the woman who you are today?
Well, reflection really is awareness, right? So reflection is being able to actually look at what you're doing and not doing, the patterns. And so my coach actually this week texted me as I was complaining about something specific. She's like, "What are you committed to here?" And it really kind of like, well, what do you mean committed? She's like, well, what are you committed to? What are you wanting here? What you focus on expands. What the actions are that you're doing actually will pull you towards your goals. So what are you committed to? Are you committed to just complaining? You're going to get more of that. So what are you committed to? What do you want here? And it kind of threw me from a loop because it was a different kind of coaching than her and I have been working for. It's not processing, right? So in the world of complaining or whatnot, it's usually people just what I call reflect and they process to a point of no return. Like, oh, this happened when I was 3 years old and my dad said this and then therefore I'm this way. That's great reflection, but not really. You know, true reflection is like be able to be awake and actually say, well, I'm going to make a difference by changing a pattern, you know, and that's what I call true reflection. But a lot of people don't do that. They just like reflect back and like, oh yeah, I guess I do that. You know what I mean? But they don't make any changes. And entrepreneurs to be able to make a shift, you have to constantly be willing to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So taking new action, reflection without new action is useless. And I love that direction. So let's dive into what you're working on today. You're rocking it in sales and marketing, online stuff. Tell our audience a little bit more about what you're doing.
So I do a lot with sales, and I talked about this in the green room. I call it. We've had some great conversations, but part of the sales is what I call, how to sell like a boss, how to actually sell without selling. And one of the biggest challenges I see, and you know this, Chris, is that we all have products and services that we package, but not very good at actually selling the package. Sometimes right now I'm doing a ton of interviews for certain things and EAS, and executive assistant and social media person. And I have to constantly let go that people who are technicians are not good at selling themselves. I sometimes have to package it for them. Like, you know what, I'm just going to package this for you, So I think that's one of the challenges is that we as entrepreneurs, we want to make a difference, and that's great. But unless we package ourselves in such a way that people can buy it, you can't sell it. So when I work with clients, I work with 3 things: your marketing, your meeting, your message, right? And you have to have all those 3 completely synced up so that a sale can happen. So if you don't have those synced up, all three, if you have one missing, it's not going to actually make a conversion or a sell.
Right.
Does it matter what platform? Because a media is LinkedIn, Facebook, billboards. That's just a medium.
Mm-hmm.
But if the other two aren't synced up, it doesn't matter, because if they're not synced up, people can't purchase you or say yes to you and can't say no to you. So that's the big piece I work on with clients.
That's awesome. I love it. Marketing, meaning, and message. And if any of those are missing, then it's not going to convert.
So it's your market, your message, and your media.
Media.
Yeah, so media is the internet, as they call it, but there's other mediums. There's this thing called radio, this thing called podcasting. That's actually a media, right? There's good old magazine ads. That's a media. But then there's also Facebook ads. That's a media. All that falls into media buying. But it doesn't matter if the message to market isn't a match. It doesn't matter how much you spray Facebook ads. You're not going to get the conversion. Right? So that's what I talk a lot about, is like syncing all those pieces up. Yeah. What happens is that entrepreneurs just get really super excited. You know what I mean? And so they're like, I'm like, great, but I don't get it. And if I don't get it as your coach, then people aren't going to get it. Right.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it. So I know we're going to be dialing into that and specifically sales in a bit. Before we get there, let's go back on the journey and talk about what it was like. What was some of the wisdom that you gained along the journey to get to where we are today?
Yeah, so you know my journey, Chris, but a lot of people might not. And just to kind of super compact it, right? I did a book called Sexy Boss about the empowerment of women is changing the rule book for money, success, and sex. And the only reason I did that book was to share my personal story because I was so embarrassed by my personal story, which was massive bankruptcy. And I mean, like, living out of my car thing, right? Yeah. And it was very challenging, and I lost my house and bankruptcy and foreclosure and the whole 9 yards. And part of the reason I was so embarrassed is because in my head, I'm smart. I'm a college educated. I do well in life. And I'm like, that doesn't happen to me, but it had to humble me into going, wow, it did happen to me, because here's the mistakes I made to have that happen. Here's the walls that I hit. And I didn't see the massive red flags beforehand, right? And I think as far as my story, I started in the information marketing business in 2001. My first million online was 2005, and then I did another 1.5 million in sales in 2015. I've had a newsletter since 2010. So I've been in this space a long time, but that doesn't mean that I'm perfect. But I do find it interesting when I see people say they're coaches in the information marketing business and they say they've been around for like 3 years. I'm like, haha, and the reason is not because I'm better than them, is that they haven't hit enough walls. There's a lot of walls in any business, any industry, it doesn't matter. You've got to hit the walls. It's like saying you're a master lawyer and you've only been out of law school for 3 years. I'm like, how many cases have you done? Right. So I think that's part of the process, is that when you're an entrepreneur, you've got to be willing to hit the walls. I always call it allowing yourself to get hit. And if you're an NFL player, Cowboys, of course, if you are, I throw in my Cowboys, if you are an NFL player and you look at the owner of the Cowboys, Mr. Jones, and you say, I want to play, but I want my millions, but I don't want to get hit today. He'd say, well, give me back my millions, my amazing uniform, and get your booty off the field. Right. And entrepreneurs come to me and go, well, I want to build this business, but I want to make sure nothing happens wrong. I'm like, good luck with that. Right. So you've got to learn to get hits. Like NFL players, they learn how to throw the ball. Yeah. But actually they learn more in practice on how to hit and get hit. Yeah. They get hit without getting hurt. Right. That's the same thing in entrepreneurship. Like, you got to look at all the different holes and all the different things that can come at you.
Wow. So powerful. So you learned this lesson of how to get hit and keep going, right? and hit those walls, get through those walls, and that's built up your resilience. What would you say are some other lessons you learned from scaling companies in a big way past 7 figures?
It's something that people always surprise when I say this. The number one mistake I made in the first thing in 2005 is I didn't have a lawyer on speed dial. So I now have lawyers on speed dial. And that sounds really weird, but it's like going, again, with NFL, it's like going out to play football and not having a helmet.
Right.
One of those things, you got to have accountants and lawyers, you got to love them. As entrepreneurs, we just get so excited in the idea and the marketing piece of it. We just forget there's these other tools out there we have to have. But as far as scaling, right, get out of the way. right? So getting out of the way is the number one issue. You got to let it go. You can't be attached to anything. Can't be attached to the idea. So I used to do real estate investing and flipping back in the day in 01 through 05, 06. And I'll never forget one of my mentors back then said, because I was so excited, this deal, and this deal is going to make me whatever it was, $50,000. And he's like, never, ever be attached to a deal, ever. Because when you get attached to something, you just try to force it.
Yeah.
Versus just like, oh, here's a deal, here's a deal, here's a deal.
Right.
You've got to be detached and committed. So it's like, I'm attached, meaning you're detached and you're committed. I'm committed to having this work. I want this to work for all parties involved in the deal. And I'm detached, right? I'm going to continue to, that's the key of sales, right? If you look at sales pipelines, you never get attached to one sale because then you don't focus on your pipeline, right? So it's like, you're committed to that particular deal, and you make sure you're detached in such a way that you can always keep your pipeline full.
Right. That's beautiful. I love it. Attached versus committed. Very beautiful. So let's start diving into sales, since we're naturally making that awesome transition. What do we need to know about sales? What's the foundation? Give us the 101.
The 101 is going back to your message to market, those two pieces. So the messaging of whatever the product service has got to be in alignment with your market. And so when people come to me and say, I go, who's your market? They go, everyone. I'm like, it's not the Chia Pet, is it? Because that's pretty much the only thing out there, or like straws, that really are everyone, everything. I mean, you've got to pick something for a while so you can do your message to market and like really solidify it. Right. So insurance is for everyone, but they don't market to everyone, right? They market to a particular demographic, a particular age, and a particular color of skin. They do. And if you look at the marketing materials, it is socioeconomic, demographic, whatever. So are you against, insurance companies? No, but insurance companies, like, they make a lot of money. So really look at their message to market. It's got to be synced up.
Okay. And when we look at that message to market, we're looking at the specific factors of who we're speaking to so that we know how to sell to them. So that getting clarity on that happens before we can make marketing, before marketing materials, before we can write posts on social media, before we can start selling things, because if we don't know who we're talking to, what their pain points are, what they are looking for, then it's not going to be a successful sales conversation.
Yeah. So a great example of that, I'm looking to my right here because I have a book out and something. It's called the Adweek Copywriting Handbook by Joe Sugarman. In one of the first chapters, it has an image. Now, Chris, I'm going to be dating myself here. It has an image of a slide. There's one of those little slides by a pool. You know what I'm saying? Like a little slide.
Right.
They had 80s. I think they got rid of them or something. But anyway, there's a little slide by a pool. And the point is that the selling process should be a person at the top of the slide. And then they kind of get pushed and then they slide down into the water. What happens that's what I call a good sales funnel, right? But what happens is someone is up here at the top and they get pushed, and then just imagine like all of a sudden they hit like a rock. Because it like doesn't make sense, or something's off there, and then like they get thrown off the slide, and then like the catastrophe. Real though, think about all the times you clicked on something or an ad and you're like, oh, I think I know what this is, and then you like going down a little bit of a funnel and you're like, what is this? It doesn't make sense, right? You like so you gotta imagine like a slide. That should be the experience of a sales process. It shouldn't be bumpy. It shouldn't be like, I just hit a wall. It should really be this like nice, easy, clean process.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I
love the analogy. No getting bumped off slides, landing on concrete, or whatever.
Right. No bumping off the slide for you. Yeah. I mean, it's just a great analogy, but that's Joe Sugarman. He's actually the forward of my book. He's a master copywriter. He's been doing it for like years, since the 70s and 80s. And he's the one who really taught me, how to actually have a sales process such that it actually really works for anyone and everyone.
Beautiful. So once we get that messaging correct and we're talking about the sales process, what's the next step?
So the next step, once you have the message to the market, is getting clear on the market and going deep into the market. So I call it you go 1 inch wide and you go 10 miles deep, right? So once you hit into a market, you've got to really look at, well, we're going to sell them this one thing. What else are you going to sell them? What else are you going to sell them? What else are you going to sell them? Go down, 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 down. And whenever I think of sales, I always talk about, in the information marketing business, I always talk about when I travel the country doing seminars. And when I share this with my clients, they go, what? Or small business owners, but this is just reality of marketing. So I'm traveling the country doing these seminars, right? And I'll never forget it. I'm like month 6 or 7 into this business. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that when we go to Chicago and Peoria, Illinois, and stuff like that, if we have 90 minutes to go from a stranger, we meet these people. Hello, your name is Chris. I have 90 minutes from meeting you to pull $3,000 out of your pocket. And if I don't get that, like we're eating ramen noodles, right? Or we're eating Ruth Chris. Or we're eating ramen. Like, it all's based on Chris is going to give me $3,000. And so, like, there's pressure.
Yeah.
And you learn that. And I never forget, like, we were losing money for the company. And then finally we started kind of making money for the company. At least we thought. And then the company said, look, we just want you to break even for us. Like, what? So they'd say, well, we spent $150,000 on a media buy in Chicago. If you guys can get, like, 148,000, we're good. But I'm like, but see, that's just the media spin. That's not like getting me out there and the ticket. So I'm like, why would they go for a loss? They go because they make all the money in the back end. That's an actually correct business model. And so when clients come to me, they go, I have one product and I've got to make money on that. I'm like, good luck. Because that's not a sustainable business model. So you've got to make sure your market to message and your media is succinct and your back end is full, right? So you can actually start making real money.
How do people and entrepreneurs who are just starting, solopreneurs who are just starting, get that full back end?
That sounds bad. This is a family show, Chris. So a back end business model is you make sure your market to message. What else does your market want? So it's that going deep. What else they want? What else can we sell them? 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 Right. So we sold them this thing. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's not our product. Maybe it's an affiliate of something. Great example, dentist. He gets me in there every 6 months. I put my mouth, my $120, and then every time he comes in, he does the dentist does the thing, right? Yeah. And then the dentist comes in and goes, "How you doing, Heather? How's the family? Whatever." And I'm always like waiting. I'm always like, George, you gonna sell me? And he's always like, what do you want, Heather? I'm like, I'm waiting for you to make money. You got me in here. I'm sitting here for half an hour. Like that. Why are you not in my ear with like some advertisements to make my like teeth whiter?
Right.
And I've been wanting to get teeth whitening for like years, but he never can pitch me. He's always like, well, we have some products. Why are you doing this? That was a horrible pitch. And then I walk out. My point is it's an affiliate, right? He doesn't actually, own that company, right? Whatever the white stuff is. He's an affiliate for a wholesaler, right? Retailer. Right. So he makes a cut of that. He makes a profit. But I'm sitting there. I'm in the dentist chair. Like, why not? So my point is that's a back end product. That's a what else do they want? What else they want? What else they want? What else they want? I mean, I always find it fascinating when I go to the dentist because they put the TV right here. You do that, and it's always like CNN or something. And I'm always like, why are you just not pitching me a bunch of stuff like affiliates and market? You should be like pitching me all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right?
Like I don't know, like liposuction and Botox. When I'm sitting here, I might as well get it while I'm here.
Right.
Botox works too. Like people don't think. Oh, well, she's sitting here for half an hour. You might as well. You want some Botox while you're sitting there? I'm like, yeah, come on. Why not? So I think part of it is they don't think through what else do they want. It's true. I mean, Botox, have somebody else come in. The hygienist is on this side and the other girl come on this side. They're like, and they just like come in on me. And now my bill's $400. They just made $400 in half an hour versus like whatever, $120.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Why not, right? While you're here, Heather, would you like a facial? Like, why not?
Why not? So it's like asking that question of what else do they want? What other pains are they going through right now? Because they are, if they come to me, then it's likely that they have other things that are going wrong that I can service them with. And since they've already built up a trust, a relationship, a rapport with me.
So I'm going to stop you for a second on that.
Yeah.
So selling's not always about pain. Vanity, my dear, is one of the best.
Hmm.
You're a man, so you don't get that. Botox is vanity.
Yes.
Vanity. No problem here. Just go, vanity. Vanity is a huge seller. So I came in for clean teeth, for health, and good kissing and all that. Great. But like, while you're in here, will you want to get rid of those wrinkles? That's a vanity play. So it's not a pain. Not every sale's a pain. It could be pleasure. It could be vanity. Vanity is it's a Kim Kardashian thing. So you've got it. But so I just want to make sure people know sales is not just pain. It's pleasure. It's imagery, like being cool. And then it's also vanity. Don't you want to get rid? Look at, here. Oh, squint. Oh, look at all those wrinkles, Heather. You're like, oh my God. Get them out of there.
Can you give us another example about vanity for another type of business?
So fitness is obviously one of them, but even the information marketing business, like in real estate, it looks cool to go out there and sell houses and get like a $5,000 check and like show it to your neighbors. That's that's vanity.
Right.
Some people are like, I'm in pain. I really need money. Some people are like, I can do that. I'm just telling you, show the neighbors. I just made $5,000 doing nothing. Like that's a very vanity play. A lot of the lifestyle internet marketing. I'm sitting on the beach making money. Vanity.
Nope.
Vanity. That's 100% vanity play. Right? Oh man, I want to do that. I don't want to be sitting in this office while there's, when they're sitting in a cubicle watching this cool video with some douchebag like on, not even him, who's in Bali. Like I want that. Click, 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 click. While that same guy is like in the next office.
Yep.
The vanity. It's 100% vanity. I mean, the self-development world is vanity. I mean, I don't want to be like Tony. Do you want to be like Tony Robbins?
No.
I don't. He's got big teeth. I don't want to be like him. But like I like his view on stuff, so like I'll buy his stuff. It makes me feel good. But at the end of the day, like I don't want to be like Tony, right? But I'll buy his stuff because he makes me feel good. It makes me think. That's a vanity play too. So there's a lot. Kim Kardashian, anything Hollywood. Even politics now is vanity. Vanity can be put. He's like, it's like it's just they pick up choose, and so they're like, I'm stuck in my view. It's vanity, like,
Right.
So there's it's not always pain. It's always about division. I'm part of this team. You're part of that team. And we vote with our dollars. So I was on Hillary's and Trump's. Gotta make sure I'm like staying neutral. I was on both of their campaigns lists, right? And I got after the elections like Hillary. I guess they don't need money. I guess the Democratic Party doesn't need money. But I'm still getting every week I get a Trump text from the Trump organization asking me for money. He's already won, dude. Like, do you really need it? What they throw in now is like, if you send $10, we'll send you a Trump T-shirt. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, it could be something that I could like with my kids or something. But that's a vanity play too. Of course, I would never wear it in Austin. I would be shot. I totally would. My neighbors, but that's the point. That's a vanity shot because at this time, when they do, I mean, I keep on there because I want to do the marketing. But when they were first doing all the campaign stuff, it was like, we're gonna win, we're gonna kill Hillary. Like that was the market. It was the pain, Yes. And then one, they're like, okay, now we really need your help. We need more money. You're like, but you won. You get the T-shirt. And so people like, obviously throw in thousands.
All right. So back into sales. We got the vanity.
That's politics.
We got the vanity, and there's pain, there's vanity, there's pleasure. In terms of like the actual sales conversation, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are selling, and how can we, prepare our buyers? I want to know how to prepare our buyers or potential buyers' leads for that sales conversation, and then have a successful sales conversation.
The number one thing that people have a hard time with in sales and as entrepreneur is saying the price. They oversell themselves and this is what we can do. This is what we can do. And this is the package we can do. And this is the package we can do. This is the package. They just keep like adding this kind of constant. And they're like, and then the price is $1,000. Do you want it? And you're like, I don't get the price, you know? So I've had that so many times. I'm one of the, because a good salesperson loves to be pitched. So every now and then I get someone on LinkedIn who thinks they're a consultant. So I'm like, sure, I'll listen to you. So they get on my call and then I'm like, all right, pitch me. And they're just like, they, get all this stuff. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah. What's the price? Well, like, we could do like 1,000, or whatever they say, or they'll say some insane number. You're like, well, how are you getting that? Like, I don't see your value of that. And then they just like buckle in, or did I say something wrong? But here's my strategy with that. When you say a price, you got to let it land like a rock. You're like, look, that is easily worth 20 grand. Easy. And the price is only $5,000. Seriously, it's only $5,000. And we can do different payments if you want to. $1,000 down, minimum. But all has to be done by the first meeting. And it's $5,000. Value is easy, worth 25 grand. You want to get started? And then shut the hell up. I mean, that's really honestly how you sell. Yeah. Because when we did a 90-minute presentation where I'm trying to extract $3,000 from Chris, right? Which I will be by the end of this presentation, by the way. So when I extract that, right? How we did it was we build value, and we would drop what I mean by drop is like drop like a rock, like, and you just like let it. This is it. This is the price. We've built the value for the last half hour, 45 minutes. It's like triple that. There is no question. I don't have to resell you. That's the value. The value is like triple that. It's insane not to do this. You've got to let that land. And what happens is people drop the price, meaning they state it, and then they try to resell it. Like they try to, well, here's what it's all worth. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to validate it again. And that's the worst thing you could do. I always imagine a car dealership talking to someone who wants to buy a Bentley, and they just walk up to the Bentley and the guy's just like, nice, right? It's just nice. It's just 120. That's it. It's 120. I know, right? Not $120,000. You're like, what the hell for what? It's a car? But I mean, come on, Bentley. Right. So you've got to be willing to just own it. And also being responsible for the time if you have to go. I don't know.
You're doing great. I love it. And so you own the price. A lot of people, salespeople and entrepreneurs have challenge with just owning it and just letting it go. And
you start from the top, right? So let's say you have tier pricing. Let's just say you start at 20 grand, you go all the way down to 1,000, everything in between. You start at the top. Like, look, our packages start at 25K. And that's like all of it. Let me tell you about that one. And you have what I call at least 3 minimum. You have a done for you, you do nothing, we are your slave price, and make it astronomical. I know a consultant, it's $100,000 for that one. And when he first created, he's like, no one's going to do it. He's had people do. He's like, oh my God, they're going to do it. So 100, you make it as much as you want, but it's what I call done for you. I'm talking like they do nothing except write the check. And then you have a done with you program. A done with you program is like consulting, coaching. We are there with you in the boat, and I help steer it. And that price is like the middle of the road, right? And then you have here's a course on it ish, or community ish, and like, DIY it. I might have a call with you.
Yeah.
All good. So you give people options, right? We do everything. You don't have to lift a finger, or more the coach consultant route, which is I'm with you in the boat with you. I'm hanging out with you. I'm like committed with you. And then there's here's a login. That's the DIY conversation. And then you have 3 types of buyers. And then you'll know where they land. If they're like, oh, really, I really want you to do it with me, but can we negotiate different pieces of it? You're like, okay, now you know what road they're on, right? If you just give them we only have a course and we only have it done for you, and then it's like, but what if I kind of want a dual thing action going on? You've got to give them options. Some people dude, shut up, whatever. I'll just let you handle it. I just want the done, just like you just do it. I'll just write the check. Okay, cool. Like we can handle that. So you've got to be willing to have different tiers of pricings. That's why you have a Toyota. That's why you have a Lexus. That's why you have a Bentley. At the end of the day, it's still four wheels that drives down a road.
I love it. So that's something that psychologically will, like, one, prepare people to make the best choice, because they have like options. They're like, okay, well, I didn't really like the smallest one, I didn't like the biggest one, but hey, maybe somewhere in the middle, or at least there's a couple different options, so we can be flexible, right? And possibly merge it.
Yeah, so a couple things with that. So there's a female side to this conversation. So listen up, gentlemen, if you are married at all or ever want to be in a relationship ever. So here's what you don't do on date. Honey, there's date night. Would you like to go to, blah, blah, blah Chinese restaurant? You gave her one choice. Don't ever do that. Ever. This is why we have shoes. That's why I have 6 pairs of black shoes. We love choices. Women love choices. Now, if you're interested in Chinese, what you do is, okay, so we can go to really high-end steak restaurant, which she doesn't want. Like, oh, okay. Or we can go to, McDonald's. Or we can go to the Chinese restaurant. Chinese sounds really good. But you've got to give her choices.
Yeah.
You've got to give her choices. Men, the reason why you give men choices, because women like choices. Okay, just in general, we like choices. But men, why you get men choices is they feel in control. Oh yeah, I get to write the check. I'm going to be able to show you how I can just write that check. Now all of a sudden it's like what I call a pee-pee move, right? It's like, really, dude? But fine, you want to write me a check for $100, right? I will take your money. But you've got to be willing to give them the choice of where they land. They've got to choose where they land. You can't psychoanalyze people and go, I think they're you'll always be wrong. Even if the guys or girls a multimillionaire, you don't know where they're at and just where they're at, their heads at. So give them all 3 choices. Right. Always. Here's our 3 choices. What would you like? And let them choose. That's a really key piece.
Yeah. And as far as the actual sales process, what do you recommend to take people from, like cold, jumping on the phone and they're like, okay, who is this guy, to, hey, I'm really feeling this, I want to buy? Like, what, I know we talked a little bit about the, pleasure, pain, vanity. I'm sure that's integrated in the conversation, but anything else that we need to know about that sales process?
Yeah, a couple things. There's a lot of schools of thought on this about warming them up and giving them a $7 tripwire offer and then moving them up the scale. And I understand that philosophy. I'm completely against it. Here's why. Again, I walked into a room full of strangers to a free event and they gave me $3,000. That's a jump from 0 to $3,000. And this was in, 2001. So why not do that online? Not everyone wants to be tiered up. Right. $5 and then a $27. Not everyone wants that little tiny tier. Some people are like, get out of the way. Just like, give me the $50,000 mastermind, dude. And who taught me that actually was a long time ago. Not only that, but Ryan Dice talked about how when he first went to Dan Kennedy, he didn't want to deal with all the he's got a lot of different pieces. He's like, whatever, what's your mastermind? And then it was like 25K. He's like, fine. Just, fine. Oh, do I get everything? Oh, that's great. Because he knew he wanted the source. So give the guy the choice. And Dan Kennedy talked about all the time, because people go, they talk about how they force people down a funnel. Little, I got it by the $125 offer, or the $7 offer. And then maybe I'll get the 25,000. Why? Why not? Some people just go, I just want the 25K, dude. I don't want to deal with other stuff. So give people a choice no matter what. That's really the key piece. So the process you asked about is you don't really have to warm people up so much. You got to warm them up, obviously, but you don't have to have 5,000 conversations. You can just have one. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's what we can offer. Here's the value. We can take you from where you are at now to where you want to go. Choose. You're not ready? No problem. We'll follow up in 6 weeks. Move on. You don't have to have this massive connection every single time. It's like, here's my value. What would you like? And people have a hard time with that.
Why do you think that is?
they're taught connection, and people do business network and network and network and network and network. I don't go to any networking events locally. A lot of it's because it's local people, which I'm not doing business with. But at the same time, I used to do, and I used to go all the time, and they'd have these, we want you to be part of it for a year, and you go every single week for a year. And then people like, are you getting any leads? No, but I'm here. I'm committed. And I'm just like, but are you getting leads? Like, well, I'm networking and people like me. But are you getting leads, And so people go into, I want people to like me versus actually closing a deal. No. And that's really the challenge, even on LinkedIn and things like that in conversations. When people say, hey, I want to talk to you, I always say, people think I'm rude. I'm like, okay, what's your intention? Why? I just want to connect. I don't need a new friend. What do you need? Are you going to tell me something? Then be clear about it. And then I can say yes or no. But just to connect, yes, I want to connect with you, but give me the intention.
Right.
So I can be super clear about it.
Right.
And I think people they get really weird about that because they're taught to just warm everybody up versus closing the deal.
Right. And it's like, it's very superficial. Like, oh, I just want to connect. And when you call them out on it, they're like, oh, wait, like I'm actually supposed to have an intention, an outcome, like something of value to do together in this call, not just, mask my intention or just, hey, show up on the call and see what happens.
I mean, when you and I talked, I was super clear on my intention, right?
Yeah.
Boom, boom. You want in? You're like, yeah, I'm going to go, let's do this. So, I mean, that's honestly, I'm super clear about the intention. And the more clear you're about the intention, like I'm here to sell you. Mm-hmm. That's clear. Mm-hmm. And people get all weird about that. And it's like, I'd rather someone come to the call and go, look, I just want to be super clear. I think my intention is to sell you on my packages. I'm like, well, you got 30 minutes, go. Right? At least I want to listen. And at the end of it, I'm like, that's pretty good. I'm a no, or that's pretty good. I'm actually a yes. You have no idea. But give yourself permission to say, I'm intentionally trying to sell you versus I just want to connect. No, you don't. Like, really? Do you need more friends? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I know that's might be harsh, but we're in business,
right?
And I am friends with my clients, and we become dear friends with my clients. But I'm almost all my clients currently, I sold them on the first conversation. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's the price. And then they usually are like yes or no. My closing ratio right now with my potentials is 90%.
No,
awesome. Whatever. And so I'm just like, honestly, if you say no, that's fine. I wish you the best and awesome. Great. And sometimes they come back, but my closing ratio on the first call is 90%. Why? Because I'm super clear of the intentionality of who I am, what they do, what I can do for them. And they know that. And so they want to hire me. And I think that people can do that as well. People buy two things, hope and confidence. It's the only thing that they buy. Always. So if you think you're selling X, you're not. You're selling hope and confidence.
Can you say more about that? Like how our offer translates into hope and confidence?
Oh, give me an example of an offer, because I can tell you exactly how.
An example of an offer is $44 a month to pay for the gym, 24-hour fitness.
44. That's a weird number. 42.50 for a gym membership. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, great. So hope and confidence is easy on gym membership. Right? The hope that you're going to go, you're going to come, and you're going to feel good. And if you're single, there's some good looking girls here. But I mean, really, let's not go into that. Really, the hope here is you come here and you feel good about yourself, and you have a great new community, and you have great experience when you're here, and you get to be in the awesome pool, and you'll get to feel good about yourself. And you're going to feel good when you come back from work and you come here at 5:30 and you leave. Even if it's for 30 minutes, you're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to sleep better. And when you sleep better, again, you're going to feel good, which is confidence, right? So that's it. Hope for potentially like community, meeting a hot chick. And then confidence for, of course, when your body feels better, you sleep better. When your body feels better, you feel confident about yourself. When your body feels better, you're productive in your life. I mean, gym, it's easy. Isn't that worth $44? I mean, how much do you spend on beer on Friday? Don't go to the bar, come here, right? So that's an easy one.
I love it. What about... let's say one-on-one accountability coaching for $1,000 a month.
Ooh, that's a good one too. I like this. Like, I feel like I'm in a game. I'm in a game show. Right?
It's a game show.
What you got? I'm like waiting for him to like text me stuff like, I gotcha. Like, all right. So, okay, $1,000. That's easy too. Okay, so $1,000 a month for accountability coaching for entrepreneurs. Okay, great. So here's the first thing, right, Chris? So $1,000 a month. You're thinking, what? But here's my question to you: who is holding you accountable for your life? Who is actually making sure that you're getting the goals that you want? Well, I do. How's that going for you? Are you hitting all your goals that you really want? Well, no. Okay. We are trained since we were 6 in kindergarten to be told what to do by a teacher. How in the world do you actually think you're going to actually create your own business and not be in the same construct that you were in for almost 15 years of your life? And so being accountable to someone outside yourself is truly remarkable. And spouse is a why, or children is a why, but that the spouse is not who's going to be holding you account. It will not be good for your relationship. So you want to have someone, a third party person, not a family member, not a cousin, not your spouse, someone who's really 100% on your side to make sure you get what you want.
Boom.
So, yeah.
Boom.
Hope and confidence. So like hope that if you hire them, they're going to get what they want, and then feel confident in who they are as an entrepreneur for their spouse and family, right? So the confidence comes from getting their goals, and then they feel good about their spouse and family and like their relationships, right? Yeah. They feel good. They feel confident. Like, look at me, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. You know, they feel good, but they're buying hope from the coach of like, you're going to really hold me account, and I'm going to trust you that you're going to do it, and I'm giving you the like leash for that. And so I'm hoping that you're really going to do this and really going to help me feel confident in who I am. Everybody needs an accountability coach, including myself, including you, Chris.
That's right. I love it. So Heather, we're beginning to wrap up now, and we want to know, what are the final takeaways to sell like a boss?
Sell like a boss. Boy, yeah. I mean, honestly, the big one, I'm just going to repeat. You're always selling hope and confidence, always. So no matter what you think you're selling, you're not selling the thing, you're selling hope and confidence, what's behind it. And then the last thing, as we talked about earlier, there's 3 pieces, the pillars: your market, your message, your media. Make sure those all 3 are connected. Your market, your message, then your media. Last thing you touch is the media. Make sure those first 2 are really in sync. And then the last thing is go an inch wide and 10 miles deep. That's where the money is.
Beautiful. Awesome. Heather, you're a freaking rock star. How do people stay connected with you, and what do we want them to do next?
I want them to go to askheatherann.com. That's my chat bot. Feel free to go there. So again, that's askheatherann.com. Or then go to my website, heatherhavenwood.com. My chat bot actually pops up right there. And that's me. Actually, I do talk to you. So feel free to reach out and have a conversation. If you're interested in saying, hey, you know what? I really want to get on the phone with you and just say, yes, I want to work with you to help me with my market to message, then you can go to callwithheather.com and schedule a time with me right now. That's callwithheather.com.
God, you got that URL? Call with Heather? That wasn't taken?
Booyah.
Right. That's awesome. Awesome job. Heather, thank you so much. And everyone who's listening or watching, definitely stay connected with Heather. She is a boss, and she's crushing it and helping lots and lots of people. And Heather, thanks so much for coming on, and have the best week ever. I'll be talking to you tomorrow.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye.